60 Minutes Rewind.
What is the most technologically, or maybe we should say telephonically, advanced country on Earth? The United States? Nope. Japan? Wrong again. It's Finland, a country better known for saunas and Santas than computers and communications. Finland is a vast expanse of land and lake straddling the Arctic Circle, with more internet connections than anywhere else. And when it comes to mobile phones, Finland, where almost everybody speaks English, is so far ahead that the world's great powers have barely left the starting line. More Finns use mobile phones than any other people in the world. 65% to be exact. That's compared to 25% in the United States. It's become an organic part of life, from cradle to grave. In fact, the Finnish word for the phone is kännykkä, which means little hand. Who makes it? A Finnish company with more name recognition than Finland itself, Nokia. Do you ever feel that you're in the vanguard of a revolution?
I think we have seen the first part of it. There's more to come.
When Jorma Olja took over as Nokia's chief executive in 1992, the company's best-known products were toilet paper and rubber boots. Olja flushed all that away, concentrated on mobile phones, and became the world's largest producer with 25% of the global market. If this sounds like an ad for Nokia, well, there's no way around it. Just this year, Nokia was named the 11th best-known brand in the world, just behind Marlboro, ahead of Kodak and Nike. Are you ever staggered by how much Nokia has done in such a short time?
I could not have thought about it in 1992 when I took over as CEO. I think we have been somewhat taken by surprise.
And if they were taken by surprise, imagine how Motorola felt, getting whipped by a company in Finland, that slice of cold tundra sandwiched between the Arctic Ocean and the Baltic Sea. How could that happen? The answer is, Finns have always had an affinity for phones. Right after Alexander Graham Bell introduced the device in 1876, the telephone mania overtook the country. The first subscribers to what Finns called a talking wire included 2 police stations, 2 fire stations, a railway station, and of course, a lawyer. So when it came to the mobile phone, the Finns were quick off the mark. A large country with a small, savvy population is a superb laboratory. Together with their neighbors, the Swedes, they sprinted far ahead of the Americans in developing a digital system which became the worldwide standard. But ask most people where Nokia comes from, and they'll say Japan. That's at least partly because it's difficult to associate Finns with any instrument used for talking. The land is famous for its long nights and long silences. The average Finn, it has been said, speaks several languages and uses none of them. Finns are the shyest, least talkative, most sullen people in the world.
I'd hazard a guess that the mobile phone for Finns is a very convenient way of communication. You don't have to look another person in the eye or sit face to face when you have communication.
John Knutis is a radio journalist and writer, and like many Finns, he's far more comfortable in a sauna than in a conversation.
You maintain a certain distance and a certain privacy through communicating with a phone.
But this very uncommunicative people, what do they have to communicate? What do they want to say?
Practical things mostly, I suppose. Meet me there and there at this and this time, or when we go to the summer cottage, shall I take the sausages and do you take the soft drinks? Things like that. And
pretty boring, really.
Yes. On the other hand, if you're in love, this is of course the best thing to have, because then you can go wherever away from people and talk in privacy.
But if you're in love, this may sound strange, but presumably you might actually want to be together.
Yeah, I never thought that. You're very right. Yes.
But Finnish kids have, and they are the vanguard of the revolution. Before they know how to read, they roam the cities like nomadic tribes, always in touch, always sending signals. And for Finnish teenagers, indispensable. Almost 100% of Finnish 18-year-olds have mobile phones. It's become such a problem in high schools that principals are demanding metal detectors at the gates. Remember when jeans and Walkmen were social necessities? Today, it's your very own personalized ringing tone. 16-year-old Heidi has one.
You have a different ringing tone for your boyfriend.
When I hear it, I know.
Can you play for us the ringing tone from
Okay.
your boyfriend?
I like to hear this.
Beethoven for your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if mom calls,
Mom calls?
it's like an alert, like an alarm.
Right, yeah.
Watch out.
And there is a slight mobile phone terrorization in Finland in the sense that we have all these different tunes that they ring with. And in a year or so you learn them all and learn to hate them, and you hear them all the time everywhere. And
Ringing tones that you download off the net. Your own phone, your own sound, your own color. A fashion statement as defining as your watch.
It's your personal thing. It's like your wallet. It's like your keys. You go everywhere with it.
Karen Armstrong is an American anthropologist living in Finland.
Do you like it?
Well, I don't have one.
You don't have a
No,
phone.
I'm old-fashioned.
Are you old-fashioned or are you a rebel?
I'm a little bit of a rebel. Defiant. Maybe defiant about it. Yeah.
Why?
I'm not so sure I want people phoning me 24 hours a day.
The story will continue after this.
Finland is the first country in the world to have more mobile phones than wired phones. And the phone booth? It's off to Sotheby's with the other antiques, off to the auction block. But the young leaders of the revolution now use the mobile phone less for talking than for sending written messages. Long Finnish words on small screens. The Finns are doing this so much that last Christmas, both national telephone networks crashed. Text messages are a face-saving, cost-saving substitute for speech. Dilja is Karen Armstrong's daughter. She was the last kid in her class to get a phone, and it has changed her life.
Like in a text message, you can say something that you would normally not want to say on
For
the
example?
phone. Like, you know, like I like you or something stupid like that, you know.
Well, it's not stupid.
Well, something mushy, you know. that you don't-
It's easier to say in a text message.
Definitely, it's definitely easier to write it than to say it, you know, because then it could be awkward pauses or something like in a conversation or something like that.
Text messages eliminate awkward pauses.
Definitely, yes. Yes.
This is a good thing.
Right, it is.
Do you send text messages?
No, I receive them now and then I reply with yes or no.
If it's somebody who you're really close to.
Yes, or make a feeble attempt at some sort of small talk through a text message, just to show that I'm in here and I'm trendy and I know how to use this.
But all this is just the tip of a Finnish iceberg. The mobile phone has literally become that little Finnish hand, a magic wand enabling Finns to live their lives by remote control.
The way things are going, Finns won't need to carry money or credit cards much longer. Already you can buy a drink or a snack with your phone. Just goes on the monthly bill. Better get ready for this, because it's coming down the road. What would you say to them?
Oh, better get ready for some large phone bills and with the kids.
Mrs. Armstrong was smiling when she said that because she'd not yet received her daughter Dilja's latest monthly bill. That was almost $400. Mrs. Armstrong isn't smiling anymore. But John Canutis is. That's because he's turned his phone off and returned to the Finland he's always known and loved. He's returned to the sauna.
Lives a masochist in every Finn, although we reluctantly admit that.
I wonder when sauna will be replaced by mobile phone when you say Finland?
The mobile phone is, of course, much more internationally marketable than the sauna. You don't need a sauna at the equator in Africa, for instance, but you could need a mobile phone.
What you're saying is that while foreigners might come to associate Finland with the mobile phone, for Finns, it'll always be the sauna, this chapel in Finland.
For Finns, it will, yes, but we're happy for foreigners to associate Finland with anything because we're still desperate for recognition in the world.
But even the sauna may not be safe or sacred much longer. John Canutas fears that Nokia is working on a mobile phone that will operate in very high temperatures. And as they say in Finland,
No, se saunasta.
there goes the sauna.